So I stayed for 2 nights in Gothenburg in a hostel, and it was very nice to have a rest and lie on a proper mattress. But actually, I didn't sleep any better than I do in the tent. You know, in a hostel, there's always at least one person snoring like they're trying to dislodge a lung, and people coming in at all hours of the night, faffing around and getting their gear out. So I've pushed on up the coast to one of the islands in the archipelago. This is called Marstrand, and I just rocked up here. This is where I'm staying tonight. This is one of the many little camping shelters which are dotted around Sweden. And my God, breathtaking is not the word. I mean, look at it. I've got a beautiful lake over there. I've got the sea over there, the islands. The sun came out. It was miserable and raining this morning. And yeah, I get to sleep up here on top of a rock. Probably going to freeze my ass off. But you know, look at it. Just bloody look at it. Spectacular. Time for me to eat some couscous and sardines, I think.
That was my first night sleeping in an open-fronted shelter, and no word of a lie, that's probably the best night's sleep I've had since I set off on this trip. Definitely the latest I've slept in. It's 8:30. 8:30, would you believe it? I feel like a teenager again. We absolutely hammered it down with rain in the night, and the wind has brought the water in across nearly half of the floor, but I was all huddled up against the back wall and I stayed warm and dry and didn't even notice. It was great. I'm going to have some breakfast now and some coffee and hope that yesterday's weather forecast still holds good and that the weather's going to brighten up a little bit in the next hour or so. The plan is to go down into the town and see if I can get a ferry to the next island up, which is called Tjörn, I think. According to the map, there's a ferry, but according to the nice lady who jogged past and stopped to say hello last night, there isn't a ferry. So I'm going to go down into the town later on and find out what the next leg of the journey is. Coffee time.
So there is a ferry from Marstrand to Tjörn, which was where I was planning to go next, but it doesn't leave until the 10th of July. And as lovely as this island is, I'm not hanging around here for a month. So this morning I am actually heading back the way I came to the mainland to consult my charts and see where I'm going next. Interestingly though, I learned this from an incredibly friendly ice cream delivery man called Olaf, who I met at the little kiosk at the ferry terminal. Now he spoke quite a lot to the people in the ticket office. He made some phone calls even, trying to help me out, obviously with no luck. And then we were chatting and he said, oh, you look so active and adventurous and alive. I feel like I want to pray for you. Do you mind if I pray for you? And I thought, oh, okay, that's why you're so pleasant and friendly. You're a Christian. Yeah, whatever, you can pray for me, that's fine. Thinking that he meant generally wish me well on my travels. But no, he said, is there anything specific you'd like me to mention? Which threw me a little bit, and I sort of mumbled something about fine winds and good weather. And he prayed for me. There and then, in the street, out loud, at quite great length, he prayed to the Almighty God and Jesus Christ for me to have a nice bike ride. And you know what? It felt really good. I'm a complete atheist, but even so, to have a total stranger wholeheartedly wish you a pleasant journey is rather nice. It's rather nice, I have to say. And I just hope that his God doesn't mind the fact that I'm a dirty heathen and does actually throw some good weather my way. It's quite nice at the moment, but to be fair, it was quite nice before he prayed for me, so I'm not saying it's been cashed in yet. Well, I'm on Tjörn now. What I'd hoped would only be a 3 or 4 mile ferry ride turned out to be a very circuitous 34 mile bike ride instead. But it was pretty nice, went over some cool big bridges, bought some cherries. Yeah, it's been alright. The only reason I've really come to Tjörn is because I heard there was a sculpture park on it, which is a little way up to the north from here. But to quote Uncle Monty, the sky is beginning to bruise, and so I'm thinking I might want to find somewhere to camp, and I'm getting a much better vibe with a little bit southwest and towards the coast. So I'm at a junction. I think I'm going to head for a campsite and do sculptures tomorrow. So yeah, this is where we get off the main road and try and find somewhere in the woods with not too many trolls. Let's go exploring. My major failing as a travel documentarian is that whenever there's any danger and excitement, I just focus on that and stop filming. I use the word danger and excitement in the loosest possible way, of course. All that happened was that the bit of land that I was hoping to camp on turned out to be a nature reserve, and you're not supposed to pitch tents there. So as the weather cleared up a bit anyway, and the riding was nice, I thought I'd just kind of push on, cycle a few more miles and keep half an eye out for somewhere to camp. But it turns out that around here, a lot of the land that isn't people's gardens is very steep and basically just big slabs of rock, not somewhere you can easily pitch a tent. So for a little while I didn't know where I was going to sleep. So just imagine that, feel the tension, feel the danger, and then release. Just let it go. It's fine. I found somewhere. Don't worry. The reason that I'm not filming this outside to show you where I camped is because I'm tired and I ate a lot of couscous and it's quite buggy out there. Just again, imagine, if you will, some nice rocks, some little gnarled oak trees, lots of heather, all just about visible through the clouds of blood-sucking insects. And yeah, that's where I'm camped. I'll get some shots for you in the morning while I'm having coffee. Yeah, look, this is my camping spot from last night. You can see in world terms, it's a nice spot. Rocks and trees and shrubs and wilderness and that. But as a campsite, it's not great. It's a bit damp, a bit lumpy, and a bit too bloody popular with the bugs, slugs and ticks brigade. So I'm breaking down camp and getting back on the road. Let's go find us a sculpture park. It turns out that the sculpture park at Pillane was literally 250 metres up the road from where I camped last night, so I got in first and I'm here on my own. And it's brilliant. I think, as with any collection of art, not all of the pieces are entirely to my taste, but I hope I don't sound like too much of a complete wafty art prat if I say that the landscape is as much of a feature as the collected pieces. Because for me, coming from a part of the world where you don't get craggy, rocky, bare hills with heather and blueberries and amazing views out to the islands in the bay, it's just a very, very cool place to wander through. It's a really ancient site, apparently. There have been people living here for 8,000 years. Not the same people, obviously, don't be daft. And now you might be able to see there's a giant white head on the hill behind me. So I'm going to finish wandering around and go and consult the giant white head, see if it knows where I should go today. Well, I consulted in depth with the great white head, and her advice to me was, next time you come and visit, wear waterproof boots. It's very boggy here and I've got very wet feet. So I'm gonna say goodbye to the great white head. I'm gonna go back to my bike and try and cycle some of the wetness out of my socks. But yeah, it's very cool here, I like it. It's a very groovy, it's the sort of place I would come and walk around if there wasn't loads of cool sculptures here. But there is, which is a bonus. I recommend it. If you're ever on Tjörn, just north of Gothenburg, then yeah, come and have a look. It's well worth it. Very nice indeed. Say goodbye to the big white head, everybody. Bye, big white head. If you'll forgive me a moment of art waftiness again, but I love the way that as you come down from the great white head, you are treated to the seamless juxtaposition of the ancient and the modern, as the modern day sculptures blend seamlessly with the remains of an 8,000-year-old burial ground. You've got standing stones and there's stone circles in the grass, and it is wafty art nonsense, I know, but it's very nice to have the two things so close together. It's a very cool place. I like it. I think I've said that before. I like it. Pillane Sculpture Park. Top banana. Great white head. After refueling on shrimp salad and kladkaka at a mediocre yet overpriced cafe by the sea, I've turned east and I'm heading inland again, swapping the booming of the surf and the crying of the gulls for the trickle of running water beneath the trees and the hum of the huge swarms of Husqvarna robo-mowers that everyone seems to use on their lawns here. Actually, I've just swapped it for the grinding of my chain, which after a couple of days in the sand and salty air is in serious need of some loving and some lubing. But I'm going to force a few more miles out of it yet. The sun is shining, the legs are willing, and the scenery is truly bloody stunning. So I'm going to push on deeper into this awesome troll-infested forest. Until I find some kind of little sheltery type thing, I think, to stay in tonight. And yeah, haven't seen any trolls, haven't seen any elk, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled because I know they're out there. So on my map up here somewhere there's a little camping shelter. As you can see, the road has become a pretty difficult hiking trail. I've just come upon this, which for a moment I thought was the shelter, but it's not. It's some ancient thing. I don't know, there's a sign, but it's in Swedish. It's probably infested with zombies, so I'm going to go and have a quick look. Let's go and see what's inside. Not a zombie in sight. Okay, that's good. Look at that, I found it. The impenetrable walking path turned into a small river, but then I came around the corner and found this. It's not quite as new and swanky as the one I stayed in on Marstrand, but it's got a bit more personality, I think. And as you can see, it's scrawled with the names of all the other people who slept here and disappeared. But also, if I turn round and show you the view that I get to wake up and look out at in the morning, I think you'll be impressed. Ooh, beautiful Swedish lake, forest, and prime elk watering ground. Come on. If I'm not going to wake up and see a huge herd of elk or gazelle or giraffe or something drinking in the morning, then I don't know where I'm going to see them. So anyway, I'm going to make camp. I might even have a little fire. That'd be jolly, wouldn't it? And yeah, make myself at home. Another jolly good day on the road. Oh, I've got a little fire going. Sun's gone in. It's not that late, but I think the midges will start coming out soon, so hopefully the smoke will help keep them away. Of course, the woods around here have been absolutely scavenged clean of any kind of usable size of firewood. So I've got one big long trunk that I'm kind of fire sawing into pieces, but it's not going to last long, so I imagine I'll probably get under my mosquito net fairly early and try and get a decent night's sleep and then get an early start in the morning. Tomorrow is back to Gothenburg and back to civilization, fine dining, fancy wines, caviar and all that kind of stuff. But for tonight, yeah, this is very nice. Me and the lake and the wind, and the smell of wood smoke. I might go and, I don't know, frolic amongst the trees or something, and then off to bed. Troll. Well, it's Sunday morning. It's pretty wet, it's pretty cold, it's pretty grey. But I have had a fantastic few days exploring the islands. And I'm going to round off my report by telling you how it went down last night. My fire burned out pretty quickly. I ate the last of my rations. Couscous, spring onions, red peppers. And I was sitting, wondering what to do with the rest of my evening, when I heard voices on the trail, and two chaps from Gothenburg and a very big friendly dog showed up. And they had with them 2 big bags of really good firewood. They had saucepans, they had supplies, they were frying halloumi and butter, they were grilling sweet corn, they were cooking sausages, they had ham, they had a big bag of beer. And the third guy who was supposed to come with them had cancelled at the last minute. So I got his ration. And we sat around until 3 in the morning, drinking beer, eating good food, chatting nonsense about all kinds of stuff. And it was amazing. Had a really nice night's sleep in the shelter, and then they woke me up with bacon, fried eggs, sourdough toast, Heinz bloody baked beans, for God's sake. They had a tin of Heinz baked beans with them. I think they might have been angels. I think, maybe Olaf sent them. Maybe this was the prayers being answered. Whatever. It was a truly awesome evening. One of those experiences that makes travelling memorable and worthwhile, I think. And yes, and forever in their debt. I've left them back at the shelter though. They were waiting for the rain to clear up, and I'm pushing on back south now towards Gothenburg for a few days of civilized rest. I'm gonna wash my clothes, wash myself. My mum's flying out for a few days. Gonna meet Louise, eat in restaurants, just be a normal person, not living in the woods for a while, which will be very, very nice. I've got, I don't know, 25 miles or so to go. I think the rain's going to clear up a bit, so I'm going to find the river, follow it south, and enjoy the rest of the ride. Happy bloody days. Heinz baked beans in the forest. Whatever next.